I had just finished drafting the divorce papers when my husband, Joseph, sneered at me with a provocative edge. "Packer, think fast and get out of my house," he said, his tone dripping with disdain. His mistress, Linda, stood beside him, gazing dreamily around the room. "Wow, all this high-end brand furniture, how lovely. This house suits me perfectly," she commented, her voice full of admiration. I winced at her words and reminded Joseph, "Just so you know, I'm taking all my personal belongings with me when I move out." Sure, Joseph said, trying to stifle a laugh. "If your things were left behind, they'd just be a reminder of the miserable days we've had." It was clear he still didn't grasp the full meaning of my statement. "Just wait, I hope you don't end up regretting this. My name is Karen. I'm a 26-year-old interior coordinator, and my husband, Joseph, is 31 and works in construction. We met through our shared passion for DIY projects and had a brief, 3-year marriage. While we once cared deeply for each other, I'm now relieved we didn't have children." Joseph has become increasingly self-indulgent. He comes home, tosses his coat aside, eats the meals I've prepared while complaining, and retreats to his room without lifting a finger to help. Before we married, we had agreed to share household chores equally. However, I now find myself doing almost all the housework. When I pointed this out to Joseph, he dismissively said, "Housework is easy. It's natural for women to handle it. Men should focus on their work, so I don't want to do it." This rigid attitude, which he never expressed before our marriage, has become a major issue. The fact that I earn more than he does has only fueled his resentment. By my age, I had planned to be financially independent and to increase my earnings further. Joseph, on the other hand, has been careless with money, putting only the bare minimum into our household and spending the rest freely. Despite my repeated warnings, he refused to change his ways. "My hard-earned money. How greedy can you be to want even more?" he would complain. To make matters worse, he exaggerated my frugality to his coworkers, painting me as a miser and seeking their sympathy. It was his reckless spending and the turmoil at home that drew Linda, a 24-year-old temporary employee at his company. With a few younger men around and Joseph being 31, it's no surprise she was attracted to him. "Oh, Joseph, if I had a handsome husband like you, I'd take care of him forever," Linda cooed, her flattery quickly ensnaring Joseph. "I discovered the affair about 6 months ago, right when it began. One day, an unknown number called Joseph's phone, and after searching for the name on social media, I found Linda. She had posted, 'Date night with my future husband at a fancy restaurant. I'm so nervous, it's our first time,' alongside several photos of Joseph. I saved the photos and retrieved their messages from Joseph's phone. The dates, conversations, and locations they mentioned left no doubt, he was cheating. When I learned of the infidelity, I wasn't angry or sad. I felt a deep emptiness. I understood that being lectured after a long day wasn't ideal, but those discussions were meant to build our future. Perhaps my expectations were too high, but after just 3 years, to betray our commitment seemed unforgivable. I sighed deeply, knowing I couldn't let myself be overwhelmed. I had worked hard, believing in compromise, but I couldn't tolerate the cheating any longer. It was time to get a divorce. I began searching for a lawyer to help end my marriage with Joseph. A month later, on a Saturday, I arranged a meeting with both Joseph and Linda. They were visibly shocked. I'm sure they never expected me to uncover the affair. Linda, however, seemed almost exhilarated by the prospect of their future together. She neither apologized nor offered any justification for their actions. Instead, she said, "Karen, are you truly okay with the unprecedented compensation?" "I'm thrilled." I responded calmly, "Yes, Joseph and I agreed before marriage not to divide our assets." At that moment, Linda and Joseph held hands, celebrating their apparent victory. Joseph and I discussed what would happen in the event of a divorce. In exchange for not dividing the assets, my compensation is minimal. I was working too, so I didn't mind. But what I can't accept is the complete lack of remorse for the affair. Linda gushed about the stylish house filled with high-end brands and the latest appliances. "It's just perfect for me," she said. I felt a pang of something strange as I handed over the divorce papers. I reiterated to Joseph, during our marriage, there was no division of the items I bought. "I'm taking all my personal belongings with me. You understand that, right?" Joseph, seemingly confused, took a moment before responding, "It's clear that your plain clothes and bags wouldn't suit young Linda anyway. I need to buy her better things. If your belongings remain, they'll only serve as a reminder of the painful days we had together." It seemed Joseph had misunderstood, thinking I was referring to personal items like clothing. It was easier to let him continue thinking that than to start an argument. "Tomorrow, the movers will be here to take everything, so be prepared," I said. Joseph and Linda were already ignoring me, distracted by the house's interior. Clearly, Joseph didn't grasp what no division of property meant, but that wasn't my concern. Enjoy the house while you can. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's move. The next morning, they came to usher me out, clearly eager for me to leave. I ignored them and waited for the moving company's arrival. Right on schedule, a large truck pulled up. The workers greeted me enthusiastically. "Thank you for choosing us today. We have another truck nearby, so don't worry." Linda approached me, her expression clouded with confusion. "Do you have that many personal belongings?" I stifled a laugh and replied, "The house belongs to Joseph, but all the appliances and furniture are mine. Remember, we agreed there would be no division of property," I added. At that, Joseph's face turned bright red as he rushed over to me. "All the furniture and appliances are mine. They've been here for 3 years. Just take your stuff and leave quickly." I couldn't hold it in any longer and burst out laughing. It became clear Joseph really didn't understand what no division of property meant. Just because the furniture had been in the house for a few years didn't make it his. I couldn't help but laugh at his confusion. "Hey, you're not really planning to take everything, are you?" Joseph asked, his voice dropping as if he were trying to calm himself. Meanwhile, the movers continued their work, steadily transporting the furniture out. "Don't worry, I'm just taking the memories of living with you," I replied. Panicked, Joseph dashed to the study, where I kept copies of all the receipts. He was probably checking which pieces of furniture were being taken. His search was futile, not a single piece of furniture or appliance in the house belonged to him. Joseph had inherited the house from his parents, who used it as a rental property. Not wanting to spend on his personal life, he had furnished it with second-hand items. When we married, Joseph discarded all his old furniture, and I bought new, high-end furnishings and appliances. As an interior coordinator, I was meticulous about design. After numerous adjustments, I arranged the upscale furniture to create a visually stunning space. It was far from the second-hand look Joseph's previous furniture had. Linda seemed enchanted by the elegant setting. Joseph returned with a pale face, only to find the house already spotless after the removal. Linda was screaming, "This is awful. I can't believe this is happening." A worker looked around, concerned. "The house is empty now. Are you sure this is okay?" "It's fine," I said. "Since I'm moving out, it's no problem. I paid for everything with my own money. Please deliver it to my parents' new house." The workers hopped into the truck and drove off briskly. "Hey, I didn't know about this. What are you going to do now?" Linda's anger flared as she approached me. At that moment, a cart arrived from behind, startling her. "Wait, who's coming now? What are you plotting?" she demanded, looking bewildered. "Karen, it's been a while. Is it true you're giving me the wallpaper?" A friend of mine emerged from the car. "That's right, the wallpaper too," I confirmed. It had been custom made by a designer I knew through work. I had paid for it to be completely replaced, so even the wallpaper was my personal property. Since the wallpaper could be reused with some maintenance and resizing, it was in perfect condition for use elsewhere. You're actually going to peel off the wallpaper too?" Linda stared at me in disbelief, but my friend just shrugged and began removing it. "Please, can you at least leave that alone?" Joseph pleaded, but I ignored him. "If you see any of my personal belongings left behind, it will just remind you of me, and I know that's unpleasant. That's why I decided to give it all to my friend." Joseph was left confused and panicked. Replacing all the wallpaper in the house would cost at least $5,000, and with new furniture needed as well, it was bound to be a significant expense. I had ensured that every piece of tasteful furniture and appliance was removed, and even the wallpaper was taken down. Now the house looked older than its years. For Joseph and Linda, who had dreamed of enjoying a beautifully decorated home, this was an unbearable reality. They seemed too stunned to even complain. After waving goodbye to my friend as she collected the wallpaper, I got into my car. "Well, this is goodbye. Farewell," I said casually to the two of them and left the empty house behind. Later, I used the furniture and appliances in my new home but soon grew tired of them. Knowing Joseph had used them, I contacted a friend who was a buyer to sell them. Fortunately, they were in excellent condition, and I managed to sell them for a higher price than expected. As I pondered what new furniture to buy and where to place it, I received a call from Joseph after a long time. "Linda won't stop complaining about how you arrange the furniture. Come over and take a look." Though I wasn't keen on meeting them, my curiosity as an interior coordinator got the better of me. I was eager to see what kind of furniture they had bought and what their new design looked like. "All right, I'll come just to see what you have to say." "Really? Remember, you promised," Joseph said with apparent relief before hanging up. On the day I visited, I was stunned by what I saw. They hadn't even re-wallpapered the house and had furnished it with clearly secondhand items from thrift stores. The place looked like a cheap student apartment. A whole month had passed since our split, and their efforts were shockingly inadequate. What is this? This goes beyond a design issue. I was at a loss for words. Linda, perceiving this as an insult, erupted in anger. We gathered this stuff just to get by for now. We'll replace it soon. Since you took everything, use your connections or whatever to make this a house we can brag about to our friends, Linda said, clearly frustrated with their secondhand surroundings. She was irritable throughout our conversation, even asking about the budget. It wasn't nearly enough to cover my fees. What's this? You're a talented coordinator, but you can't do anything with this budget. You're useless. Linda snapped at me, clearly agitated. No matter how skilled a coordinator is, they can't work miracles with such a limited budget. This is beyond connections, I explained, feeling exasperated. Linda seemed serious about having me arrange high-end furniture and appliances on a shoestring budget. Frustration boiled over, and Linda began to lose her temper. This is absurd. Did you come here just to look down on me? If you don't like it, leave. But if you want to furnish your home on that budget, you need to improve your interior sense. Don't get so overconfident just because you have a somewhat fashionable job. Hey, stop it, Joseph intervened, looking weary. Joseph, say something to her, Linda demanded. Just stop it, both of you. Linda, please be quiet. I'm sorry for the noise. I had to marry Linda, but as you can see, she's always angry, and it's tough every day, Joseph admitted, his voice tired. It turned out that after I left, they had a huge fight in their now empty house. Linda had quit her job and not informed her parents of the marriage, leaving her without a place to go. Joseph confessed that he had married Linda out of compromise to have someone take care of the housework, but it was a doomed arrangement from the start, leading to their quick disillusionment. Please, Karen, help me fix our relationship, Joseph begged. I was clearly annoyed. What is this? Planning to cheat on me next? No, the thing with Linda was just a temporary confusion. After you left, I realized there's no one more wonderful than you. Karen, you're not serious, are you? I realized I had raised my voice. You're the one who told me to leave the house, right? I divorced you just as you wanted. Don't expect me to change my mind now. Please, Karen, don't address me so casually. This rundown house is your chosen castle with your affair partner. You two should get along together. Wait, Karen. Joseph's pleas were ignored as I quickly left the house. It wasn't worth satisfying my curiosity about their downfall. It was a life lesson learned, I thought to myself. Later, I heard that Joseph and Linda begged their parents to help with the cost of new furniture and appliances but were disowned by both sides. Neither set of parents was willing to assist, let alone forgive them for marrying after an affair. So, they continued to live in that second-hand house. I couldn't muster any sympathy for them. It was the result of their own actions. As for me, I recently met a male interior designer through work. We've been spending quite a bit of time together on weekends. I've been cautious about dating, but maybe it's time to consider starting a new chapter. With that thought in mind, I'm off on another date today.